Mackenzie, and welcome back to my Harley Quinn cosplay tutorial video series. Today we'll be taking a closer look at her costume. This will cover the jacket, the shirt, the accessories, the tiny booty shorts, the belt, tights, and the shoes that I made. So we're gonna start by taking a look at the jacket. This is, I believe, the Hot Topic version. I got this on Poshmark. It was a great find. It's almost screen accurate. The only difference that I really see is maybe the burgundy is a little bit darker in the movie, and these pockets are actually lined with the opposing colors. So this right here should be navy, and this right here should be red, but it worked for my purposes, so that's fine. I did make a few alterations to this jacket. I added a hand-sewn chain down the side of both arms. If you take a look. That was rough, but I think it really makes a difference. I also added these little crystals here. I think there's the Swarovski. I don't know how to pronounce it, but I'll show you guys how I did that now.
Ooh, so sparkly. To glue the crystals down to the J, I used this E6000 industrial strength glue that I use for all of my projects.
This jacket also has a couple of fun Easter eggs on the inside. It is official Suicide Squad merch. It says good night, and it also has her little dolphin tattoo, which I think is fun. It's super. Next, we'll be taking a look at the t-shirt. As far as resources for this one, I went off of Laura Gilbert and Jbunzie's tutorials. I kind of meshed them together for my own method here, which I will take you guys through now.
The base shirt is a white burnout tee that I found on Poshmark and then altered to crop the bottom and crop the sleeves as well. The bottom of her left sleeve is dyed blue with an ombre effect, so I'm using different dilutions of this Bahama blue dye to make that effect on the sleeve. And shout out to Laura Gilbert for this method and product. Once I have the two different shades on the sleeve, I'm going to dip it in this very diluted cup of dye to create that ombre effect. For the red top of the shirt and stripes on the sleeves, I'm using this fabric ink in color crimson that I saw in Jbunzie's tutorial. To soften the edges and add a little bit of a color leak, I'm just dabbing some water onto the edge. To add the two lines on each sleeve, I'm using this painter's tape and doing 1-inch sections, which I will then fill in with paint. I created the Daddy's Little Monster logo on my iPad, printed it out on iron-on paper, cut it out, and then ironed it onto the t-shirt.
So the glove she wears on her left hand, I had a particularly difficult time finding. I know that the screen accurate version is some Marucci professional baseball batting glove that I had zero luck in finding online. So I tried to make the best of it, and I went to Dick's Sporting Goods and found the closest glove I could find that kind of looks like it, and then I altered the glove from there to look like Harley's glove. I think it came out pretty well. I was pretty impressed with myself, not gonna lie.
So here's a look at the materials and the glove before I made any alterations. I started out by making a pattern for the blue wedge that goes across the back of her hand. I did make an attempt to remove the Adidas logo with my heat gun, but it wouldn't budge, so I decided to take the red fabric and trace out the area that needed to be covered and sew that on top of it. There was a bit of trial and error to get the shape right, but I just kept cutting it down until it fit correctly. I layered all the pieces together and then sewed them down before sewing them onto the glove. I turned the glove inside out and ripped the seams on either side, slipped my piece through, and then sewed it back together. Harley's glove is fingerless, so I cut the fingers off at the first knuckle. Instead of replacing the bottom piece where it velcroed, I just covered it up with black Sharpie. Harley's gloves have black fabric in between the fingers, so I just covered that up with Sharpie too.
Okay, and the last thing we'll take a look at is how I made Harley's boots. The Screen Accurate boots, I believe, are a Jeremy Scott Adidas collab they did in 2014, which makes the boots almost impossible to find, especially after the movie came out and everyone wanted them. So there are a couple options that you can do. I made my own route, so I'll show you guys how to do that. But there are a couple options you can do for her shoes. I know you can get her boots on AliExpress or Amazon. There's a lot of cosplay companies that make dupes for that, but they don't have the stiletto, which was important to me. If you do want the stiletto, there are a bunch of shops on Etsy. I can link people that have been recommended to me in the description below. For my shoes, I did a little bit of a shoe surgery and I combined two pairs that I found on Poshmark that actually ended up being like half the price or even less than what the sellers on Etsy have. I'm sure theirs are much better quality than mine, but mine worked for me. So this base shoe is actually from Hot Topics line of Harley merch back in the day. I found it on Poshmark. So the top part here actually came from another boot that I cut off and just looped together here in the back. That's the only thing holding it together are these shoelaces here. So the alterations I did to these shoes were replacing the stripes here on the side. Obviously, I Frankensteined two shoes together, and then I replaced the laces with something that looked a little bit more like Adidas laces, and I printed these out on fabric, printable fabric, and glued them down so they all have Adidas logos where they would be. So, you know, they're as screen accurate as you can get on my budget.
So the shoes originally came with 2 sets of stripes, and I used my seam ripper to remove them and did injure myself in the process. So if you're gonna do this, be careful. I made 12 sets of new stripes using faux black and red leather. With my new stripes glued together, I just super glued them to the sides of the shoes. I printed out the Adidas logos on fabric paper, which was a technique I saw in another Laura Gilbert tutorial. Using the same E6000 glue as before, I glued them down to the tongue of the shoes.
The holster and the gun and the bat are going to be their own separate video. If it's already out, I will link it up here so you guys can check that out. But I actually made this myself. Very cute for this. So taking a look at the items that I procured for this costume rather than making, most of my stuff came from Poshmark, and I was very lucky that I'm doing this cosplay 5 years after the movie came out and all the hype is over, because there was so many people who were Harley for Halloween and just selling their accessories. So I was able to get this great put-in necklace, this belt I got on Amazon, these shorts I got on Poshmark. They're like sequin booty shorts. They're not very comfortable, I will say. I got fishnets just on Amazon. I'll put links for all the products that you can still buy in the description below. And then for her jewelry, I know you can buy the screen accurate versions for a lot of her jewelry pieces on Etsy, but it's very expensive, so I was balling on a budget. I got this ring, which goes on her pointer finger, from Amazon. I'll link that too. It was only like $10, $11, so not too bad. In her left ear on the blue side, she wears a really big spike and then a cuff. Again, I was trying to do this cheaply, so I got these spike earrings on Amazon for the same effect. And then I was actually really lucky to find Hot Topic did a run of all of her jewelry back in 2016 when the movie came out. I was really lucky to find this ear cuff on Mercari. I also got her cuffs on Poshmark. Okay, well that covers everything from Harley's Suicide Squad costume and her accessories. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and if you have any questions, please leave them in the comments below. Otherwise, don't forget to subscribe to my channel and stay tuned for more cosplay content. I have more Harley videos coming and, you know, more cosplay videos coming in the future as always.